Hey YouTube, it's a girl, Star Over One, and so today I'm going to be reviewing the season 1, episode 2 of Boy Meets World entitled On the Fence. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first scene we see of this episode is Corey, Sean, and their other friend, which we don't see in the later episodes. He's just there for this season, this one episode or the few first episodes of the season. So anyway, so they're in the cafeteria and they see Minkus and they usually and we are introduced to Minkus and he's sort of like this nerdy know-it-all. I want all character, yeah. And he is basically made fun of by Corey and Sean, which is their whole dynamic for this season, which we'll get into later episodes once I review the entire season. And so, yeah, so Corey, Sean basically are like making fun of him, and then Minkus just throws some shade right back at them. So yeah. And then we see that everyone has this water gun, and Corey is the only one in his grade that doesn't have a water gun. So yeah, he basically have and basically he wants this water gun for the episode. And so later we cut back the to the house, and then Corey's parents are basically in the kitchen, or actually his mom and his sister are. Not his dad. His dad comes in later though. So Corey goes up to his mom and says, um, and starts like doing like these like, oh, hey mom, how's your day and everything, and because he really wants this water gun, and I can definitely relate to this because I've done this to my mom most of the times. Like, I wouldn't like bribe her. I would just like be like, "Hey, mom, so I have a question. Can I get something from you?" Yeah, I would definitely do that. So it just shows some relatability in that. So yeah, I just really love that. And so, um, Corey basically says, "What if you're in a house and and there's there's a fire?" And then Morgan's like, "How is there a fire?" And then she's like, Be- because it happened." And then Corey's like, "She it's like, how did the fire happen?" And Corey's like, "She tripped." And Morgan's like, "Why did she trip?" And then this is one of my favorite lines of the episode, where he goes, "And she trips over your dead body." And I just really love that line. Sorry, this is funny. This is funny. So anyway, so he basically shows his mom the water gun, and it costs like $50, and like, and yeah, I can definitely relate to this too, because there are certain things like sometimes, like when you're a kid, you want something, goes and you find out that it's completely expensive. Like, do you ever get those feelings? Let me know in the comments below if you get those feelings. So anyway, Corey says that basically he kind of feels basically like he goes up to his room because his parents said, "No, you can't have this water gun, it costs too much and we're not gonna get it for you." So he basically goes up to his room and tells his brother Eric, "Why do we have 3 kids if we can't afford something for them?" And in a lot of ways, while being funny, it's kind of the sad truth. because sometimes parents have kids, and sometimes they're not able to afford like as much as some other families, and that's just how it is in life. And I mean, it's not like they're doing it on purpose. They're doing it because they don't have that much money. And so Eric basically he has this job at the grocery store, which is the subplot of the episode, where basically Eric is trying to deal with the grocery store, and he's trying to figure and he's just working extreme, and he's just like, I don't know, he just feels like it's a lot of work for him to handle, I guess. That's how he feels. So, which I can understand, because like most people when they go to work, they have they they it's not easy working. It really isn't. Like, some people think, oh, it's easy. Like, no, it's not. It's not easy. So then later, Corey decides he wants to get a job, so he goes over to Mr. Feeney's backyard and he says, "Hey, Mr. Feeney, what you doing?" And then Mr. Feeney, he basically said, Corey asked him if he can do paint his fence for Mr. Feeney, and Mr. Feeney will him give him this much amount of money. And so Corey confuses the numbers, because he was like 2 times 3 times 30, and then he just says the wrong number or something like that. I don't remember what the actual numbers were, so don't quote me on this. Though he says, "What's that, like $58?" And that just, oh, Corey, what are you gonna do with Corey, honestly? So anyway, he goes and he paints the fence for Mr. Feeney, and he sees his friends, and his friends are basically all like, "Hey, want to come with us to have this water gun fight?" And Corey's like, "No, I can't. I have to work." And then Corey basically is like, and then Corey he said he paid his friends to help him paint the fence, though his friends, of course, abandoned him. And yeah, that was sort of a dick thing to do. It's like, why are you gonna leave your friend behind? Anyway, then next we see Corey. The next scene we see Corey. He's half asleep, half painting the fence, and his dad comes in, and basically his dad says, "You're not working. You're done working. No, no more working for you." And then Corey's like, "Why not?" Because, and then Alan says, was one of probably the most relatable lines and probably the life lesson of the episode, is basically, your job is to stay 11 years old for as long as you can. And yeah, I have to agree. Sometimes kids nowadays, I feel like they try to grow up so fast, and then once they do reach the age where they grow up, they start to feel like their childhood, like like they didn't enjoy their childhood while it was here, and they can never get it back. And so here's a lesson, and it's basically saying, do not grow up too fast. Be a kid as long as you can. When you're adults, you can worry about working, though right now you're a kid and you're where you need to be. And that's really a good lesson for kids. honestly, because kids today, I don't know, we just don't get messages like that anymore. Sort of. I mean, on Girl Meets World we do, but we'll get into Girl Meets World when I get to those reviews soon. And so yeah, and then so later we see Corey go into his room. Eric's there, and Eric is exhausted, lay on the bed. He basically is so tired from work, and he says, "I don't know how Dad does it." And then Corey's like, looks outside and sees his dad still painting the fence. So he goes, "He's Superman. My dad is Superman." And basically, so then next scene, we're at the dinner table, and then Corey basically says to his dad, like, hey, you wanna have a water gun fight? And he's like, "We can't do it right now." And he's like, "Check under your side of the table." And he's like, he reaches under there, and then grabs like the water gun and starts playing with it, and then all the family starts getting into a water gun fight. And Eric, like, this is my favorite, one of my favorites. There's plenty of Eric moments that I'm gonna get into soon in future videos, though. One of my favorites is like, he's like, "Don't get any water on my hair, don't get any water on my hair." And like, that is the most funniest thing ever. Like, oh my gosh, Eric's like concerned about his hair the whole time. And then the last scene, probably the one I died laughing at. I'm really. So Morgan is on the counter, and she dials 911, and she's like calling the police. A little kid calling the police, and she's like, "Hello? My parents are outside fighting. Listen." And then they hear noise, and Mr. V's like, "You're jelling my fluorocarbon." And then Morgan's like, "They just shot the neighbor." And then she's like, and then so apparently over the line we can assume that they're asking her for her phone number, for her address or something. And then she's like, "Mommy, what's our address?" And that is, I died laughing. That is the one of the funniest and cutest moments of Morgan ever. Honestly, who does not laugh at that scene? Honestly. So yeah, overall, guys, this episode of Boy Meets World was pretty good. I actually liked it. There were some moments where that were funny, and some that like that really like, this message was just all about staying young while you can, and I really like that message. So yeah, that's basically it. Um, so yeah, um, that's it for my season 2 episode. Not season 2, season 1, episode 2 of Boy Meets World, entitled On the Fence. See you guys later. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and peace, love, and happiness. Bye, guys.